Saying goodbye to the old 1500 there. There it is, the old 1500. And the F-150's right there. So what am I in? Well, today's the day. This is the good old classic Ford F-150 1999. I've had this truck for 6 years. I started my business with just this truck before I even got a trailer and mowers or anything. I traded in my Jeep Compass that I put my push mower and my Ryobi hand trimmer and blower in the back, you know, the hatchback of the Jeep. That's what I used when I was part-time the first year, mowing probably 6 or 7 lawns in between all the retail management crazy hours, 50, 60 hours that I was working. I was doing that, and then when I went full-time the year after, I traded that Jeep in to get this F-150, and I worked all in the spring to make some money and get my business going, get the name out there, get some weekly clients for mowing. And that's when I got a trailer and a commercial walk-behind mower, and I used this truck to pull the trailer. Even when I got my enclosed trailer a couple years ago, it pulled it for one season. Then I got a Ram 1500 the beginning of this season, and that was doing great as well. But I needed to step my game up because my business has really jumped in this last season. I did some marketing for the first time in 5 years this year, and I've just been going at it for so long, right? 6 years. You generate that word of mouth. Everyone's used to seeing your trailer, your logo, you all over the neighborhoods that you've been in for so long. So that helps get that word of mouth. And when people are, looking you up or looking up lawn care, and if you come up in the searches and they're like, oh, I remember seeing them in the neighborhood, and so on. So just business really went well. It really took off this year, more than I expected, and went through a lot of growing pains, and one of them is not having the right truck. So I'll go into more details about that later in the video. So there's a couple reasons why I got a new truck in less than a year after I purchased a different truck. So last year I determined that I wanted to do more with leaf work, leaf cleanups, and specifically leaf removal, because I wanted to extend my business going beyond the mowing season. I wanted to extend it as long as possible through the winter and so on, so I can get closer and closer every year to being a full year service. Obviously, it's going to slow down in the winter no matter what. We don't have a whole lot of snow in the Richmond, Virginia, Central Virginia area, so that obviously is unpredictable. But there's always going to be leaves that are going to fall. So as long as we plan properly and have enough of the right clients, then we can have enough leaf work to keep us going through the winter, for the majority of the winter anyway, through the end of December, early January, and then we kind of stop and then transition into other things, whether it be spring cleanups, mulch, pruning, all that kind of stuff, limbing up trees and stuff. So there's a lot of other options that I've been looking into and that I have done over the years in smaller quantities, and now I want to ramp that up as my business is growing, as I have part-time employees that I want to keep on year round, so I don't have to let them go and then rehire them or find new people all over again every spring. So just trying to work on those things. So that's what I came up with last year. But in order to do that, I needed to actually have the right setup so that I can haul away leaves when I have actual removals to do. Not massive removals that you need a dump trailer or a dump truck and a leaf vac and all that. That I can refer that work out. There's plenty of local people in the area that have reached out to me and said, hey, if you have any big cleanup jobs, you guys can just blow everything to the curb. This way you're still getting paid for that. You're giving your guys hours, and then we'll just go ahead and come by and suck them up on the curb, charge you the fee that we charge, give you a break because we're all working together, versus if a customer just called me right out to do it, and this way, you know, you factor all that in with your pricing, and it's a win for everyone. We keep busy, you keep busy, and the customers get in their yard cleaned up. So I was trying to stay away from those bigger properties. As far as like not marketing that, really my goal is to be able to be a one-stop shop for lawn care for my clients. I don't want to have to say no, I don't do mulch, or no, I don't do leaves because of my setup or whatever the situation is. Now, I've talked about a lot of this, especially with leaves, in previous videos, so you can go ahead and check those out. I'll link those at the end of the video. So a lot of the properties that I currently have are small to mid-size residential properties, so there's not a ton of leaves or a ton of trees. I do have some neighborhoods in the area that I'm servicing currently that are older neighborhoods, and they're in very wooded areas, so there's a lot of leaves there, and I would always turn that work down because I really had no way of, you know, getting rid of the leaves. You know, I would rent open trailers and just do different things like that. And I tried all kinds of stuff to do leaves, and it just never really worked for me. So I just kind of avoided it, referred that work away. So like I said, last year I wanted to keep growing my business, extend the season throughout the winter, and not say no to those clients and potentially leave money on the table. So I thought about many different setups, not a dump truck or a trailer though. Like getting an open trailer that I knew would eventually dual as my second crew. When I got ready to have a second crew, mowing crew, I could use that open trailer during the mowing season for a second mowing crew setup, and then in the fall potentially use that for leaves, you know. And I thought about different ways about that, like how would I utilize that, build up sides, all that, you know, get a bagging system for my mowers and just dump the leaves on there constantly. And a lot of people offered me advice. A lot of you guys watching my videos, a lot of local people that I know gave me a lot of tips, and I was able to actually check out a lot of different setups, a lot of different local setups that are out there, and I made some videos about that, and that was all very helpful. I really appreciated all that feedback, and it gave me a lot of great ideas. So what I was going to do initially was I was going to use my F-150 because it's got a 6-foot truck bed, and I figured I could put some wood sides on there and it'd be big enough for me to just dump the leaves in there, save a little bit of money, because I still have to get a bagger system, the side bagger system for my grandstand, my Toro grandstand, and I didn't want to spend too much in one shot. I wanted to kind of work my way into it. So I figured I could just utilize the truck bed that I had at the time. I had a Ram 1500 that I bought in the beginning of this year that had a shorter bed because it's a crew cab and it's just a shorter bed, so I was going to use the F-150 instead of the 1500. But then I just kept having so many problems with the F-150. It's getting so old. It's a 1999, 220,000 miles, so on and so on. I just kept putting more and more money into it, replacing the battery, getting this fixed, that fixed. It was just kind of like a never-ending thing. And you know, I was just tired of pressing my luck. Is it going to start? Is it not going to start? Like, I wanted something reliable. I didn't want to be, you know, taking care of, get all these leaf jobs lined up and be worrying about not being able to get them done because I can't get my truck started and have it all set up to haul the leaves away and all that, and I can't do it. So, you know, I knew it was only a matter of time before I had to part ways with that truck, but I didn't think it was going to be this soon. So that had me kind of in a predicament as well. So I quickly realized before it got to this fall that I was going to need to come up with an alternate plan. Also over the summer, I started increasing my fertilization and weed control accounts, and all I've been using all this time is a bunch of 4-gallon backpack sprayers and a 24-gallon like ATV sprayer tank that I put on the front of my mower or my stand-on aerator or whatever I was using. Every year I kind of alternated a different thing, but all of that as I grew just still, you know, it still wasn't as productive as having a spray tank in the bed of my truck. So that's when getting a 200-gallon spray tank, I knew that I was going to need a heavy-duty truck with the higher payload to be able to support that additional weight like that. So that's when I started thinking about trading in both my Ram 1500 and my Ford F-150 and getting a heavy-duty truck, whatever that happened to be, whether it was a Ram heavy-duty truck or a Ford heavy-duty truck. And I was just kind of looking into that and, again, asking more questions about the different types of trucks and researching over the course of the end of the summer into early fall. But during my research, I saw, because it's the end of the year and the holidays were coming up and dealerships are trying to get rid of all of the previous year's models, so all the 2019s were on sale. Everything's got to go, right? And employee pricing, all the holiday stuff, you know, big huge discounts and rebates for the different brands. I was looking at used Ram 2500s, and then when I went to talk to the Ram dealer about them, I also saw that they had some 3500s that were actually, with all of the discounts and rebates, cheaper than the used 2500s. So I thought to myself, why not just get a brand new 2019 Ram 3500 with 0 miles on it. It's got everything that I need, nothing fancy. It's a tradesman, so it's a work truck. It's got a couple of things that I like the rear glass that opens and closes, so I like that. It's got a sprayed in bed liner that you can't see because it's got loaded up with leaves and brush under here. But this is an 8-foot bed. This is the long bed. So it's a Ram 3500 6.4 Hemi long bed. So it's everything that I need, and I figured, you know what, I will never outgrow this truck. So that was the whole point. My business will never outgrow this truck. So when I get to the point of a second crew and I need a second truck, I'll just go down to a 2500 or an F250. Go back down to a 3/4 ton truck since I have a full ton truck. And I will know that I will always have this on the fleet when I need to haul heavier things for payload, or if I ever end up getting a dump trailer or anything like that down the road that I need to pull, then I know I got the 3500 for that. Even though the 2500 would still be good for that, I know that I have the 3500. So again, it's something I knew that I could grow into, and I've been using it like crazy ever since. I didn't put sides up yet, but you can see I got it all filled up. So now what we do is when I have to bag lawns with my grandstand and my side bagger system, I just take the bags off and keep dumping them in here. And as we drive to the next properties, it kind of settles down, packs down more and more, and I just keep loading it. And then eventually when it gets too full, it's getting all stacked up here because I don't have sides up yet. Then we go to the dump at the end of the day or the beginning of the next day, and we go ahead and we use this manual unloader here that I got like on Amazon. You know, you can get them all over the place, like Harbor Freight and stuff, but it's just a manual crank. You know, you go ahead, you have the handle in your truck and you just stick it on there and you crank it. You put the tailgate down and you just crank it, and it pulls this tarp all the way through, and the load just dumps off the back there. So it's a pretty sweet setup. I mean, it's not perfect. It says it can only hold about 2,000 pounds or whatever. So I mean, you are limited, but that is still a lot. So for as far as leaves and brush and stuff like that, it works fine. You're never going to really get to that much weight unless you have sides super high and you just go all out like that. It's better than pitchforking, raking, blowing, or manually trying to yank the tarps off and stuff. So it's worked so far for what we need it for. So that's the setup for the fall. Next year, obviously, I want to evolve it to some other things. I'm thinking maybe even building a box and getting a small leaf blower, leaf vac on the back of that, and use this to just suck up the leaves for the smaller properties that I have instead of just using the bagger. I mean, the bagger will be complementary to that, like the backyards and the areas that maybe aren't as thick with leaves and don't have to worry about spending the time blowing them to the front to suck them up. With this, I can just bag them and then run them over and dump them in the box, and then the stuff that we blow to the front could suck it up here. So a couple different options there, but ultimately I think that might be the most efficient setup and kind of turn this 3500 into a small dump truck. You know, just put a leaf box in there, and obviously we'll have to upgrade this to something more heavy duty. There's some stuff out there on the market coming down the line that is a little more heavy duty for that. Obviously there's dump bed inserts as well, but then if I had that, I wouldn't really be able to put my spray tank in here. So I could keep the spray tank in there and still use the 2/3 of the rest of the bed for whatever debris and stuff I want to put in there. So I just need to figure out what are some options to upgrade from this manual unloader to some other things that are coming out down the line on the market in the industry, that I could turn this into a nice heavy duty dump bed without actually having to put in a dump insert in there. So stay tuned for more videos about stuff like that to come on my channel. If you like this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, thanks for clicking on the video and watching it. Go ahead and check out some more videos I'm going to put on the side here, and as well as just on my channel in general. Take a look at all my playlists. There's a lot of interesting things as I go along my journey throughout the years of life and business. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Make sure you ring the bell to get notifications for my weekly videos. And as always, don't forget to keep trying new things and be a rookie for life. Peace.